1380 WLK, the voice of the community, 448-922-2703, as we broadcast live from the Peachtree Pine Shelter. I'm down here with my brothers and sisters, friends. I feel safe and secure. I ain't scared and glad to be here, unlike what you've been told by the city. We were just in court and the city had a number of people. My former colleague, Deborah Starnes. I'm also joined by another former colleague. We sit right next to each other. She's been an advocate for the least, the lost, and left out for many, many years, but she's still a young lady. We're joined by State Representative Mabel Thompson. Mabel, how you doing?
Very good. Peace and love to everybody.
All right, empower to the people.
Empower to the people.
Most importantly.
Truth to the people.
And you were in court. You've been on, we have to go back many, many years. You were a supporter of the task force before it was fashionable to even support an organization that's been kind of, they've had their share of hard knocks, but they've survived. What do you make of the latest attempt to really just, just shut the facility down and demasculate it and to dehumanize, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Not only the staff here, because it has to be tough when you're volunteering, they don't have much staff, it has to be tough on Anita Beatty and others. It's one fight after the next. And so it's like every round goes higher and higher and gets harder and harder. And what do you make of the city attempt? You were in court, and so you heard much of the deliberation. What do you say? What does it say about Atlanta in this point?
Well, it says that Atlanta is going through a very terrible time where people are really beginning to be more insensitive than ever before. Really, when you look at what's going on in the city, people are suffering. People are suffering, whether you are homeless or with a house, or losing your house, or losing your job. So really, I think you summed it up when you said, it could be any one of us. It could be any one of us. We miss a paycheck or we get laid off. We're in the same situation. But what we believe, it would never happen to us. And so I really just think about what's going on in the city. I'm thinking about, you talked about former colleagues and that type of thing. And we both know that we served both with Debbie Starnes, who was a city council person representing District 2. And we know on council that she always was trying to do something against the homeless. And as a legislator, she was not able to do it because there were people like myself and you and others who would say, that's too much. You're overboard. You're out of control. But now that she has this position now, as homeless are at the city of Atlanta at the executive level, she can do a lot of things, as they say, throw a rock and hide your hand. Or in some cases, just go straight to the media and tell a lie. So the bottom line is that she's using the power of the mayor's office to be able to really continue to crack down on homeless people in the interest of the business community. We should be outraged. We should be outraged with the insensitivity of turning off water. It's 90-something degrees in the shade in Atlanta, Georgia. And we have turned off the water of the least of these. I think you said it best last night. You said that if it was an animal shelter and the word went out over the news that the animal shelter was without water, that it would be such a cry from the city of Atlanta. People saying that's so inhumane. Yet we don't care enough about our brothers and our sisters. So I really think, Atlanta, this is like a wake-up call. If you don't come now and stand up with the task force, trust me, it won't just be the task force. It'll be any agencies that's trying to help the poor. I ask the question, why does Atlanta hate the poor at the level that they do? It used to be a time that we would join hands with the poor, and it was a righteous and an honorable thing to stand up for the poor. People ask me, why do you do it? Why do I do it? It's in me to do it because it's God sent me to do it. And he sent some others on the other side of this line to do it. But we've been afraid because Atlanta has us afraid. Afraid to speak up for justice, and we've been afraid to speak up for ourselves.
Wow. I guess one of the things, and I sit in that courtroom, I'm just absorbing because I'm very observant wherever I go. And I just look at the level of people in the city. Many of them were friends. They had a city attorney. They had a number of city workers who in their hearts just did not want to be here. But because they needed some faces, they called people who had to sit there to bear witness to us trying to make an argument to cut off the water. I'm sitting here just observing. Now, I'm saying under ordinary circumstances, these people just couldn't even sit in this courtroom in good conscience. How do you deal with the conscience of individuals we have to go make an argument that we believe that it is in the substantial best interest of the city to cut the water off.
Yeah, to me, the judge was the best example I've seen in a long time of justice with mercy. And really, when you think about it, many of us go to the polls all the time, and we vote for judges. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their records are. We don't know if they have any sensitivity to our people. We just vote for them. But I would say to you that Judge Earl Graham was extremely sensitive, and he basically said the issue is not just about the water being cut off. It's more than a regulatory issue at stake. This is a moral and ethical issue. And what is the impact of having 500 men in the street without water, without a level of sanitation and for their own self, feeling good about themselves and just moving around in our communities without hope? What we're saying is right now, Atlanta is going through a hope breakdown because they must be without hope to believe it's okay to cut off the water of the least of these. Come on now, come on Atlanta. Don't get back into the stereotypes of what you think a homeless person is. I submit to you, the homeless person, the face of a homeless person, it could be in the mirror. I submit to you, it is women, it is children, it is not just the black man that you see in a line. And see, as long as you think it's just a black man in a line and you say, oh, he's able-bodied, but you don't know the circumstances. Some people are suffering with mental illness. Many of us are suffering with mental illness, going undistinguished. Okay? So what I'm here to tell you is mental illness issues, mental health issues, but also there's drug addiction. And what we're talking about is disease. We need some help. We need some more beds for people to get from being detoxed. What happened to the beds? What happened to those facilities we used to have in Fulton County where you could go and get some relief? What right now is almost like you're on your own, unless maybe you got a minister who can say a word to you and you can believe that Jesus can come and deliver, and he can. But if you're not tapped in spiritually somewhere, you're gonna suffer in Atlanta, because Atlanta's a hard city. It's not easy. This ain't easy. Atlanta's a hard city, but I'm willing to stand up for our people, and I salute and all those who are standing up like yourself. But more than anything, I salute Anita Beatty. Come on now, how can Anita Beatty fight the battles that she's fought over and over again and still keep working, keep coming? And I salute her board for being strong as well.
Right, and we're going to hear from Anita and some of those board members, and we want to hear from you. When we come back, we're going straight to our phone lines. Y'all got our phone lines lit up. We got Ringo in Grant Park, Pat down in Atlanta, first time caller, PJ in Atlanta, Corey on the